Hey everybody, this is Nene with Nene Cooks and Such, and today I'm going to be making one of my comfort foods I love. I got this when I was married. This was my mother-in-law's recipe. I know it's going to be backwards, baked cabbage and sausage. It is so good. I know it doesn't sound too good, but it is good. So, it's basically one of these you put in your dish. It's a nice big Corningware bowl dish, okay, with the lid. So I like to layer the things in there to help it cook, because it cooks for 2 hours, and you have to stir it. Turn that off. You have to stir it every 15-20 minutes, okay, in that 2-hour time period. And it cooks on 275. So it's cooked slow and long, but it has rice in it, and all this stuff is going to season the rice. It's going to get done. It's going to be good. So I'm trying a new way of moving the camera so y'all can see, and it's not so dark. It calls for 3/4 of a head of a medium cabbage. I'm going to use it all, okay? It cooks down to there's basically nothing left. And what am I going to do with the 1/4 of a head of cabbage, okay? I know I could boil it or shred it for coleslaw, but I'm not, okay? Let's just get real. So I'm going to put it all in my container, my dish, and it's going to be good. So what I do to get it started, the core's in, I've washed it and took off the outer couple leaves. I put my knife on the top, and I basically just kind of hit it a little bit till it goes through that core, okay? We don't want anybody cutting their hands and fingers and all that. So then I'll do the same thing, cut it in quarters, okay? Okay, so we have them in quarters. Next thing I'm going to do, is you see this core right here? This core goes up to here. Can you see that? Yeah, right there. I'm just going to cut that out. Just kind of lay my knife against it. And I just cut it off. I didn't go very deep, so I had to redo, make another little tiny slice. Okay, so what I like to do to make this smaller pieces is it's easier to cook and eat. I cut it down till they're about that wide, okay? But like that. And then all you do is slice it. Let me see if I can lower you just a little so you can see. Can y'all see that? There you go. So all I'm going to do, just switch hands, is I'm just going to cut it, okay? I'm not cutting it thick. Probably less than 1/4 inch thickness. You can cut it ever how thick you want it. It does not matter. It's all going to cook. So you do this for the entire cabbage. Like I said, the recipe calls for 3/4 of a head. I'm just going to use the whole head. And, then you have your little cabbage pieces. I'm going to go ahead and put a layer in the bottom of my dish. Okay, I just kind of break it apart a little bit. Okay, if you got a bigger piece, just kind of break it apart like you would an onion, you know. And I'm going to do this other piece. Let me cut that in half there. Okay. And so this is basically 1/4 of a head I'm putting in my dish. I've got it in my dish. And I just like to layer it. It's not necessary. This is one of those dump and go type things, okay? Because you're going to be stirring it up. So the next thing I do, it calls for a medium onion chopped. There's my chopped onions. And that's about a medium onion in there. There again, I'm just going to sprinkle some in and kind of layer it. Then it calls for a cup of washed rice. So all you do is you put a cup of rice in your strainer and you wash it. You're just washing the starch out of it. So I'll just put about 1/3 of it down, okay, over my cabbage. There again, it's not necessary to layer it, but I'm doing it. And then a can of Rotel. I tell you, I can't seem to get the light and dark. Can of Rotel. Put about 1/2 a can there. And just kind of smooth it out a little bit. And then smoked sausage, and I'll be back with that. Okay, calls for a pound or 2 of smoked sausage. This right here is Hillshire Farms beef smoked sausage. I cut them up into little pieces, and then, can you see? I cut it in half. Okay, so there it is, half. Then I take and I cut that into 4ths. So you got little pieces like that. And then I take and cut those into little bites. Makes it go a lot further. I don't know if you can see. Makes it go a lot further. And just makes it extra good. And get it all through there. Then you take, since I'm going to do 2 pounds in here, since it's for church, I'm going to put half, about 3/4 of it on this layer. I'll just put the whole thing because I'm going to do another one. So, and there again, it's going to be stirred up. So this just helps all the seasonings kind of work together to get the rice cooked and get a good flavor for the rice. So the next thing it calls for is 1/4 cup of oil. This is just vegetable oil. 1/4 cup. I'm going to pour about half of it on there. There again, you can just dump and go. But I like to layer. Okay? 1/2 teaspoon of Tabasco. If you don't like it, don't put it in there. I just put a few drops. Because it is for church, and there are people that don't like spicy. And this is not going to make it spicy. As big as this is, and I think I put 5-6 drops in it, it's going to be okay. A half a teaspoon of chili powder. And I use this. They don't make this anymore, so I've had these. And it's so good. But half a teaspoon. Alright. That's the old way of doing it. And those that don't believe me, here's half a teaspoon. Right there. And I have just a smidge left in my hand. So I'm going to put the whole half a teaspoon in there. And I will put more because I like a little extra. So I usually double that amount. Alright. And 1.5 teaspoons salt. So there again, I'll do about half of it. 3/4 of a teaspoon. Three-quarters. See? And it took a lot of practice, I'd measure stuff, put it in here, measure stuff, and when you cup your hand, you just see how full it gets and where you get it, and you just learn. And then it calls for half a teaspoon black pepper. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on. You know, it doesn't come out very much. So 1/4 teaspoon there. Okay. Alright. Then you do the same thing over again. Now, since I only put 1/4 of my cabbage, I'm going to do most of the cabbage on this next layer. This is the middle layer. And then the top layer will be a small layer. So I'm going to repeat the steps and I'll be back. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So I made another layer. I did the cabbage, sausage, rice, Rotel, seasonings, the other half of it. So now I'm going to put another little layer down of, this is Johnsonville andouille sausage. Okay, I'm putting another little layer here. Let you see it there. Little layer there. And then this is that last 1/4 of the cabbage that I've cut up. I'm just going to put it on here. And then the last little bit of sausage. And the reason I do this is when the sausage starts to render the fat out of it, it just gets into the cabbage and it cooks the cabbage, it seasons the cabbage, and you know, it just goes on down the dish. Okay, I put the lid on it and I'm going to put it in the oven, 375, 2 hours or so. Stir it every 15-20 minutes. I'll set my timer. And then around the hour 45, hour 50-minute mark, I'll test to see if the rice is done. And I'll keep cooking it and stirring it until all the rice is done. And you'll know when rice is done, when it's soft and ready. You take it out and let it cool for a little bit and it's ready to eat. But I'm going to take this to church tomorrow for our meal after church. And I'm going to put it in my crock pot in the morning, turn it on and let it heat up. And keep it in the crock pot and it'll be good. So, I'll be back when it's all done and show you what it looks like. Bye. Okay, y'all. It's done and I have tried it. It is so good. I'm going to turn you around and show you. Okay, this is it. It's done. And just letting it cool. I've started putting some in the crock pot so it, you know, in layers so it'll cool. And then I can stick it in the fridge. But yeah, there it is. Hope you try it and let me know in the comments if you tried it and what you think of it. And you can make this as spicy as you want, or not as spicy. Instead of original Rotels, you can use mild. And make sure that your sausage, is a mild sausage. And don't put the Tabasco in it. But it's so good. And see, the rice just cooks down to almost nothing. And the cabbage, when I started it, the cabbage was up above, up above the rim. So, enjoy. Remember, Jesus loves you and he wants you to love him back. Bye.